Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Good Saturday morning, everyone. Once again, it is the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray show. All things you want to find out about what's going on in the Mid-South outdoors, you can find out about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Hunting, fishing, hiking, bird watching, whatever. Retrievers. We'll talk retrievers. Yes. How about that? Retrievers. So, without further ado, the one and only, the oracle of the outdoors, it's Larry Ray.
Oh, Frank, you're getting really good at that, Frank. I think we'll just tape that one week and just do it every week. You know, just Frank with his FM radio voice, but me with no voice. And you folks out there know I'm under the weather and I'm doing this from the house. But Frank has got a real special guest, and I'm really excited. I wish I was in the studio, but I don't need to be there. But, Frank, introduce this next guest, because I know you're going to be spending a lot of time where she is right now for the next several days. So introduce us.
I am. Well, we are fortunate that with us right now for this segment is the 2023 chairman of the Master National Retriever event, which is about to take place in Thomasville, Georgia, and that is Dr. Becky Malphus. And I first met Becky 20 years ago, actually, because that was when the first time that the event was in Thomasville, and Becky was participating in it. And she's been doing it. She's like me. She's been doing this event pretty much every year since then. But for some strange reason, Becky decided that they wanted to do it again, and she decided she would be the chairman of the event. So, Becky, why don't you tell everybody that's listening when you started the event planning for the 2023 Master National?
Oh, that would have been back when we were in Idaho. That was 2019? No, 2021. 2021. The idea came 3 or 4 years ago when we knew it would rotate back into this region. And you know, everybody starts poking you in the ribs. Hey, we'll help you if you do this. If you take this on, we'll be there. You know. And yes, this is a 20-year anniversary for us for the Master National, and I co-chaired it back then too. But it was significantly different. The sport in the last 20 years has just exploded, and so the numbers of dogs and the numbers of property that we've got to have now is just a completely different level of engagement and stress level for me, for sure.
How many dogs, Frank?
1,220 dogs.
Wow.
Yep.
What do you think of that, Becky? I mean,
so you know, that's what I've been selling down here.
You got a lot of dogs to deal with, so.
Yep, we do, and yeah, that's what we've been with. My pitch down here has been for a lot of people locally. You know, this is the largest AKC performance event to date. So that's pretty special. It's here in Thomasville, Georgia.
It is, and of course, when you say that name, you either think of retrievers or furniture. You know, I mean,
that's right.
Where
Georgia,
you
think of quail hunting and retrievers, and that's I think North Carolina that has the furniture.
Yes. Well, you're close, but and the University of Georgia is pretty popular down there too. But talk about the logistics, Becky, of putting this event on.
Yeah, the logistics for this is tremendous because, first of all, you know, you got to have a pretty good amount of land to hold a hunt test. And for this event, we've got to have 9 different flights, 9 different sets of property running at one time. And on those pieces of property, 9. I will have 9 events running at one time, all starting next Friday morning. And, you know, so you got to have workers, equipment, and all of that going on simultaneously in 9 different spots. And so just having that much property to hold this kind of event is, first of all, one of the biggest limitations places to have it. And of course, we're lucky here in Thomasville that we have such a good community of lab people that have property, and we are definitely taking advantage of all the. I had to shout out to the field trial people. We're using a lot of the field trial land, and it's just gorgeous. It's beautiful. I think these handlers are just going to come on and be going, wow, because it's just so pretty. Some really nice ponds that are designed just for retrievers. So we're not using somebody's backyard fish pond here. We're using ponds that have been strategically designed to help, train retrievers.
Well, I got to ask you about your passion for this. You are a veterinarian. You've been at this for a little while. So
yes, sir.
Talk about how you got into this.
Oh, that's a funny story. I graduated veterinary school from the University of Georgia in 1994 and came to Thomasville to work. And that fall, we had our first, I would say first, it was my first Ladies Dunks Unlimited banquet. And had absolutely zero interest in duck hunting and retrievers at the time. And I ended up in this event, in this, banquet, and they auctioned off this little puppy, little female puppy, and I thought she was pretty, and I ended up going home with her, and that's what got me started. I always compare it to, when you go shopping, I start off buying the earrings and then buy the outfit. That's what happened here. Got me interested in duck hunting, and then I had two friends, Wayne Dodson and Sally Sullivan, that said, let's take her. Her name was Bella. Let's take her and run her down here in this hunt test. She failed miserably the first time, but it didn't stop me. We came right back.
And she ended up a good dog?
Absolutely. Bella ended up going to, I'm not sure how many Master Nationals she went to, probably 3 or 4, because, I did start with her later because I didn't know what I was doing. But I was able to get one plate from Bella.
That's great.
And then I got a second dog, and he has passed the Master National 5 times. And my third dog passed the Master National 5 times, and my latest dog 3 times. This year, I'm starting over with a youngster, so I'm back to 0.
Well, I know he doesn't want to talk about this, but Frank's pretty important to you guys. I know Frank does a job that I don't know how he does what he does.
I would tell you, I have no idea how he
get a copy of that book every year. He brings me that book. And it's pretty amazing, particularly with 1,200 and plus dogs this year. And so why do you do this, Frank?
People like Becky. People ask me that. I said, "Why? What has kept me for doing this for 20 years?" And it's people like Becky, and that's just it. It's wonderful dogs and watching the dogs work and everything. Don't get me wrong. But the people that this sport attracts are just it's just contagious to be around them. So and there are other folks like Becky. There are a lot of other Becky Malphuses out there that are in Master National world. So
it's a reunion camaraderie too, I'm assuming.
It absolutely is. There's a ton of fellowship here. Getting to take my dog across the country and meet people and train with people you've never seen before the event, and then you get to see them next year, and it's a reunion. It's really awesome.
And Frank, I know that's part of why you like it too. I know that.
Sure. I had folks coming in from Oregon this week. They've been traveling across the country all week long, and they called me several weeks ago and said, "Hey, Frank, we're going to come through the Memphis area on this date. Can you set us up for someplace where we can train?" And I said, "Well, sure." So they've been training this week in Olive Branch, where my club has its test, and but they're from Oregon. They wouldn't have any way of knowing anything about anything around here but within the retriever community, it's pretty tight. Everybody knows everybody, and it was a fairly simple task to get them set up to have a place to go train. And when they get to Thomasville, it's even better. Becky,
even better.
How many different training properties do we have in Thomasville for the folks to train in?
Well, if you want to talk about training properties, it could hold multiple groups. Now, several of them can hold multiple groups, and we're not talking about a cow pasture. I've got about 19, and some of those can hold 3 or 4 training groups on it. They're so big and robust.
We never have that many properties before. That's one of the beautiful things about Thomasville.
Well, you're not just talking about X number of dogs. You're bringing economic impact on Thomasville, right, Becky? I mean, this
absolutely. Somebody asked me why I'm going through this headache, not only for the people and being close to home, but the economic impact it brings to this community is just outstanding. And why wouldn't I do it?
Well, I appreciate you, Frank. You're going to ask her something else before we can close out on this segment here. My voice is about gone.
Well, I would say, Becky, how they get in touch with you for the event, but I happen to know most all that information already. So I'll say, if you want to find out about this year's Master National event, go to our website, which is masternational.org, and you can get all the information on there, and we would love to share it with you, and maybe see our Mid-South listeners see you coming out at one of our local hunt tests. So that's how we do it. Becky, thank you for taking the time. Yes. I know how busy you are, and I look forward to seeing you in a few days.
That's right. Thank you, guys. And Larry, you get to feeling better.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's take a break. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry. We're going to wake up David Field. We'll talk fishing now. We'll be right back.